Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Angelique Nitsa. I'm a teacher of senior high school students in a private school in Jakarta. Tomorrow, we'll be writing and vocabulary session, especially for process essay. I've already prepared everything starting from the teaching methods, the rationale, the implementation, a step-by-step lesson plan, and the material samples used in the lesson. Let's break it down together. First thing first, talking about the context, as I said before, I did senior high school students. They are fluent in English, but unfortunately, 70% of them failed the writing test because they were still confused about arranging and organizing ideas. Regarding this matter, I've already provided examples, but it still didn't work well. So, I explain it more in the additional class tomorrow. For the methods, it's a combination of task-based language teaching and cooperative language learning. For the rationale, I prefer to use TBLT by concentrating on its characteristic and the theory of learning. Rather than focusing on the product, this method emphasizes the process. Based on the context, students are still confused about arranging and organizing ideas. Through this method, I will guide them to increase their understanding of the process essay step by step, starting from the structure, characteristic, and the writing process itself. Before composing words, they need to be familiar enough with this type of essay. Although they have brilliant ideas, if they are not knowledgeable enough, how can they pour those notions into the right way? The next point is learning actively and communicatively while engaged in activities in talks. Previously, I've already provided many materials, but it didn't change anything. Therefore, TBLT is suitable enough for encouraging students to apply the materials by producing a product, in this case, an essay. By doing this, students' learning performance will increase because they are directly getting involved more than just paying attention to the explanation. Furthermore, they indeed have a high English proficiency but lacking of practice, as seen in their test result. Well, it should be more than just theory, right? Besides, the objective of TBLT will genuinely help them in composing process essays because the task is related to the real world. It means that they will grow the ability to communicate accurately in process essay writing in the most common English language activities. As the teacher, I encourage them to get used to writing by choosing a topic related to their daily life. In fact, students will be more attracted to something they like, for example, food. The following method is cooperative language learning. By applying this method, students are expected to expand their comprehension of writing and vocabulary through cooperative work. The collaboration between them unconsciously will increase their learning performance because working together affords the opportunity to share ideas and strategies for learning. Another reason is being in a group allows students to recognize and memorize the information better since they can see the actual implementation of process essay rather than just learning independently. This method also stimulates their critical thinking skills to arrange the ideas in completing the tasks by building a positive interdependence environment which meets no competition. It can be seen in the engaged activity that the game has no winner because all of them have the same opportunities to reach the learning goals. Let's move on to the implementation. The first one is vocabulary. During the class, students will enrich their vocabulary acquisition through the games in engaged session named Pass the Receipt. This game is one of the activities of cooperative language learning because it requires group teamwork to make a complete receipt from the picture by writing the step in turns. It's like the first person write the first step and the next will continue. Each step must include sequencers or connector words, often used in process essay. At the end of the game, I will ask them to review the vocabulary by mentioning one step consisting of one verb and one object related to the receipt and also saying the sequencer used. Besides focusing on vocabulary, Pass the Receipt game also gives a brief concept of process essay in terms of structure and content. Through this game, I hope they know how to construct their ideas and pour it into a written form. Furthermore, this game is in line with the inductive approach, which requires student cognitive effort to mention the word's collocation. For example, break the egg or hit the pan and so on. Also, it is implicit because the vocabulary items were taught implicitly by referring to the receipt. For the meaning focus, students present the vocabulary output by writing the receipt. Then they will learn vocabulary input through rereading, which helps them to outputting the vocabulary through speaking at the end of the game session. The second implementation is writing. Students were asked to make a process essay about how to cook their favorite food, then upload it on Padlet.com. This writing activity is implemented by using task-based language teaching. The teacher directs students to focus more on the writing process than the product. It is proven by the fact that as the teacher, I will help the students to follow the linear process, starting from conceptualizing states, formulating ideas into sentence, revising, and rereading the whole essay. Here, the students will peer check their friends' work and give feedback to confirm their writing comprehension level. Next, talking about the lesson plan, I start the engage session by playing a game to attract their attention, then reduce the boredom. There should be something new in reviewing process essays material so they will fully engage in this additional class. After having fun, I continue to explain the PowerPoint slides in the study session. Then ask them to compose a process essay based on the topic and do a peer check afterward. The activate session was placed at last for practicing their writing skills after receiving the materials. So here are the details. As the teacher, I teach process essays focusing on food receipt. The skills and English knowledge system is, of course, writing and vocabulary, with a total duration is 1 hour and 30 minutes. Next, the teaching objectives are that students are expected to develop their vocabularies and ideas and be able to explain things about process essay. The rest of the information can be seen on the slide. Here is the lesson plan table. The engage session will last around 20 minutes, starting with creating a group and the game. Moving on to the study session. This session will last approximately 20 minutes with reviewing the vocabulary and explanation of process essay in detail. Last is the activate session, which will last for about 50 minutes. And the activities are making a process essay and peer check. Finally, here is the sample of materials. I will use these PowerPoint slides as a visual aid. Well, before starting the session, I always tell them about today's agenda so they have a clear vision of the activities. Well, this is the engage session. Then the study session, which is including what is process essay, their types, sequencers, and the structure. After explaining, I also open Q&A sessions to ensure them about the previous material. Last is the activate session. And these are my references. Alright, that's all for my presentation. Thank you and see you next time.